Why, hello there. I originally did this look not planning to do it for YouTube. I did it for a transformation video, which is on my Instagram, and you guys loved it so much that you wanted me to do a makeup tutorial for it, so here it is. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. It is 7:50 a.m. I have not gotten up this early in a long time to do makeup. And first things first, I'm gonna prep my skin with my Beauty by Earth facial toner. This just makes my skin feel really hydrated and soft, so I just spray my whole face with it. And then to prepare my lips, I'm using my OCC Lip Tar Primer. If you guys have been watching me, you know I always use my Urban Decay eye primer, but this time I'm actually going to use something different. I'm using the Sephora Beauty Amplifier, and I am in love with this primer. I feel like it really makes the eyeshadow stick to your eyes a lot better than the Urban Decay one, so this is my new favorite eye primer. I'm going to do the eyes first, and I'm going to start out using my Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette and their new Glimmer brush from their brush line. I'm going to be taking the shade Gloom and putting that on the front half of my eye. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Dagger and putting that next to the green. And now for my final eyeshadow color, I'm taking my favorite black, which is Urban Decay Blackout eyeshadow, and putting that on the outer corner of my eye. As you can see, I'm winging it out in the end, and that's going to be a guideline for where my eyeliner will go. Then once you're happy with your overall shape, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and start blending it out. I don't know if this happens to any of you, but whenever I do my eyes, I always feel like one comes out better than the other, and right now I feel like this eye, the blending is a lot better than this one. Then once you're happy with your blending, you can go ahead and put on your black liquid eyeliner. I'm using my NYX Black Liquid Liner. I've actually been trying to make my liner a little thinner lately, and I'm pretty proud of myself. This is not as big as I usually go, but I do like how this came out. And this is totally optional, but I like having a really, really dark, smoky outer crease, so I'm going to put some more blackout right in the end of my crease there. Now onto the face. I'm using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer first. Now I love my Kat Von D foundation, but I was using it without a primer for years. And then just recently I started using it with a primer, and it makes such a big difference. It's insane. Because I have a very normal to dry skin type, and whenever I put the Kat Von D foundation on, because it is a little more dry and matte, it would cling to all my dry patches, and it would start to separate towards the end of the day, and it just wasn't working. So then I decided to try, just for the heck of it, putting it on top of a primer, and it made it apply so much better. It lasted so much longer, so if you guys are having trouble with the Kat Von D foundation, try using a primer. It really, really helps. And I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation in the shade 101 Classic Ivory. Just apply that straight to my face. One of my biggest pet peeves as far as makeup goes, especially in the online community, is when people aren't honest, and specifically when it comes to the face. Now I see a lot of girls who use a lot of Facetune, and it makes their face look flawless, but the problem is they don't say that they use Facetune, and they start listing all of the foundation and concealer products that they use to get their flawless finish. I'm like, that's not what's gonna make your face look like that. And I've talked to so many working makeup artists, and they're so frustrated because when people come in with these photos of these beauty gurus or anyone they see on Instagram, and they tell the makeup artist, make me look like this, but it's not possible because it's a filter or it's Facetune. It's ridiculous, and it makes me so irritated. It's like, why are you bothering to list all the foundations that you use if it's just Facetune? I don't understand. And I'm not trying to say don't edit your photos at all, because I edit my photos, but the problem is I always disclose when I do that because I know people are going to get discouraged and they try to use the same products that I do, but because my photos are edited, they won't look the same. But I just feel like it's important to be honest with people when you edit. Now I'm going to take my Naked Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral. I'm going to be using my Nanshi concealer brush, I actually really like this brush a lot. I've been using it to apply foundation whenever I do lip art lately, because I only do foundation in this part of my face. And comparing it to my beauty blender, I really like how it concentrates the product a lot more, and with my beauty blender it does make it look airbrushed, but it does soak up a lot of the product, and with the brush it obviously doesn't soak up any pigment since it's a brush and not a sponge, but it also just keeps that original pigmentation of the concealer, so it looks a lot brighter. And I kind of alternate between gently sweeping it over my skin and pressing it like this, like going straight in. I feel like that makes the product sit a lot better, in my skin particularly. Now to set my foundation on my forehead, because that always creases, and my concealer, I'm using my e.l.f. face powder in sheer. And I'm just going to take the powder puff that comes inside and puff away on my face. Now I'm going to be using my favorite Marc Jacobs gel liner for my waterline. I'm going to be smudging out that same Urban Decay Blackout along my lower lash line. This is my favorite part of doing this eye look because I'm using my Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Distortion. Now with this particular style of applying glitter, I'm kind of focusing the most glitter on the inner corner here, and then kind of gently letting it fade out a little bit, and then I tap it with my finger to disperse it a little bit more since it's not covering the whole eye, and I don't want it to just look like it's going to stop suddenly, so the further into my eye that I go, the less glitter I use. Now for the eyebrows, I'm using my LA Splash Ultra Define Brow Mousse in the shade Dahlia. So now that brows are done, I'm using my Sephora Colorful Eyeshadow in the shade Cashmere Coat to contour my cheeks. So if you've been following my Instagram stories and my Snapchats lately, which if you're not, you should because that's where I post the most. I pretty much post on there daily and talk about what's happening in my life, show what I'm wearing that day as far as clothing, makeup, etc. But if you've been following me on there, you know I just got a new car, which is very exciting. I actually just got my driver's license a couple of weeks ago now, probably 2 weeks ago, and I am loving driving. It is just fantastic. I love being able to leave work whenever I want, not have to worry about being picked up, you know, if my schedule conflicts with someone else in my house. Now I'm going to be taking my Tarte blush in Party, and I love this blush. It's very natural, and it gives a really nice flush to the face. Again, I don't like to wear blush, but this blush I'm obsessed with. I got the iPhone 7 Plus, which is huge. I was not a big fan of the size, but I wanted something that would have a lot more space. I had the 6 as my last phone, and it was only, I think, 14 gigabytes, and I ran out of space like crazy, you would not believe, so I just got the over a 100 gigabyte one, and I am so much happier with it. I think it's the 130 one, but people were telling me to wait for the new iPhone 8, but I don't really care that much about, you know, new iPhones, so I just wanted something that had more space. And now for highlighter, I've been loving these two from House of Beauty lately. This is called Self Reflect, and this one is called La Perla, and obviously this one is a lot more white, silver shimmery, and this one is a lot more nude tone, so I'm going to use this one today called Self Reflect. And these highlighters are blinding. It is insane how blinding they are. Now to set the face before eyelashes, I'm using my NYX Matte Finish Spray. I'm almost out of this one, I need to get another one. So now for the lips, I'm having to go on Instagram and see what I used because I'm recreating this look that you guys really liked that I did on my Instagram a while ago. It's this with the mint hair and the nude lip. I've always been very hesitant to use a nude lip, but I am Skulls and Bones. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. She's absolutely gorgeous. She inspired me to do a nude lip, so shout out to her. Thank you so much for inspiring me to go crazy and do something out of the ordinary for me, because I always wear black lipstick, so nude lips is like a completely different experience for me. So the two liners that I'm using are the Everlasting Lip Liners from Kat Von D in the shade Kevy, which is the lighter one, and Hawkwind, which is the darker one. I'm going to start off lining my lips with the darker one first. I'm just blending that out with my finger. These blend so nicely. I love them. As you guys can see, I overdrew my top lip a little bit, and then I added some gloss, and that really makes your lips look a lot more full and dimensional when you overdraw them like this. And the gloss I used was by LA Colors. So now I'm going to put on some eyelashes in my wig, and I will be right back. And this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good one. Bye.